Hey basketball players, today I'm going to be breaking down Trae Young and his footwork, but also his tactics on how he's able to score so many points and how he is becoming such a great basketball player. If you want to become a great guard, this is a video you don't want to miss. So in this first move, he actually crosses up his player, and then he does a killer crossover back. And then he's able to pull back and do a step back and take his shot. How does he do this? What's the footwork? And how can you do it as well? This is what we're going to be breaking down first. This is a great move, and he looks really surprised. Those kids are happy too. Okay, so first what he does. What does Trae Young do? He does a quick through the legs crossover, and then he goes in attack mode, mainly because he is attacking that upper foot. This player is trying to force Trae Young towards Trae Young's left side. We all know Trae Young's right-handed, so this is not a huge surprise. So what does Trae Young do? He's a fast guard, and this guard is definitely not as fast as Trae Young. He's able to recognize that, and Trae Young attacks that foot, and then he pulls the ball back. Now, how does he do that, and why does he do that? Mainly because he notices, look at his eyes. His eyes is looking at this player saying, okay, this player is in full out recovery, I'm screwed mode. Which means that I need to pull the ball back, and when I pull that ball back, that player is going to be stuck. And he's stuck right now. Trae Young could have shot right there, but he's not. He wants to get a little bit more space. So what does he do? He does a step back shot. Now, let's check out his footwork. Now, when he does that cross, he brings his outside foot out to stop his forward momentum, and then he's able to cup that ball and bring it around and dribble back. And because he never had more than half of his hand below half of that ball, it's actually not a carry turnover. So, because he's able to do that, he brings that ball around. Now, he's totally stopped his forward momentum. He now crosses over the ball, and he still hasn't technically picked up the ball. That ball, half of the hand is still above half that ball. Now, he's on his left foot, and he takes a quick step back. He's picked up the ball. Now, let's look at his shooting form. I will be breaking down his shooting form tomorrow in depth, but really quickly, he has stopped his forward momentum. His body is in a J. Now, this is a different type of shooting form than what I would be breaking down tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the set shot. This is a step back shot. So how he's in line, even though his head is not in line with his knees, in line with his toes to the ground, his head is still in line with his knees, in line with his toes. However, he's tilted a bit forward because he's just done a step back. He has a lot of momentum bringing him in that direction, which now he needs to stop by tilting forward so that he can now shoot with the same effort as he would be towards that net. Now, another thing that makes Trae Young so good is his ability to change speeds on the fly. He doesn't go at one speed the whole game like I used to. My speed was either slow to try and set up a play or fast to attack the rim. Fast and powerful. That was my thing. I just wanted to plow through players. But Trae Young, he does it with finesse. What he does is he's able to cross up his player, and then he attacks the rim. Now, when he attacks that rim, he notices that he's got a player playing help defense to try and cut off his forward momentum. This player is a much taller player than Trae Young, so Trae Young's going to get blocked if he doesn't do anything. He can do one of two things at this point in time. He can pull up for a jumper and possibly get blocked, or drive towards the rim and possibly get blocked, or he can pass to this player. However, he thinks differently. He actually has a third option. His third option is to fake a pass to this player, which is going to then stunt that player's ability to then block Trae Young and try and recover to this player, and that's what we see here. Trae Young does a behind the back fake, And all he's really doing is just doing a reverse through the legs cross, so that's what I call it. That gets this player out of the way, and because of that, he's able to go in for a regular layup. Now let's see it from a different angle. He goes in attack mode, and now he changes his speed by going through the legs. He stutter steps, and then he's able to attack that rim. Such a great move by such a great player. Another thing that makes Trae Young valuable is his ability to not care if he turns over the ball, which makes him a very deadly player, as we can see here. There are a lot of coaches who will yell at players for doing moves like this, a dribble through the defender's legs and try to beat that player back to that ball. He knows he can get away with it. He knows that he's faster than Ricky Rubio. Many players are. He also notices that there's no players in this area to steal that ball, and he knows that this player, he has his arms wide out and looking at him as well as the player that he is defending, which means that he is not in a position to go and steal the ball once that ball goes through the legs. Trae Young is a very smart player, and he reads the court extremely well. And because of this, he's able to go through that player's legs, still get that ball, and go in for the easy layup, and possibly get fouled as well. And I know he's reading the court because from this angle, we can see his face, and we can see that he's reading what's going on. He's able to then look down really quickly and notices, hey, Ricky Rubio's legs are quite wide. I could probably use this to my advantage, and which he does, and of course he gets a nice layup. And here's the same move actually once again. So this player is playing extremely wide on Trae Young. Trae Young notices, hey, there's no players in this area of the court. Well, I'm going to pull off a crazy move that most coaches will get mad at, and which he does again. Again, this is not a tactic that most players can use. A lot of coaches will get mad at you, and I as a coach, if it's done wrong, will get mad at you. If it's done right, like it's done right here, I won't be mad. But what this does is it gets that ball out of the way of getting stolen, and then you're able to recover because there's nobody in that side of the court anyways. And now you've got yourself an open shot almost every single time if you can do it properly. Nobody can be on that side of the court, and also your player has to be playing defense extremely wide. By him playing wide, laterally he'll be quicker, but not in reverse to try and turn around and chase that ball. Now, in this last move and tactic that I'm going to break down for you, this is a tactic that you could use as a player, but only in certain situations. So, in the NBA, you have to be a fantastic player who gets the whistle called for you all the time. However, at the youth level, college level, high school level, whatever it may be, if this happens to you, you have to make sure that the ref is, let me just say, really likes to blow his whistle. And if you've got a referee that really likes to blow his whistle, this is something you can do. So, what you've got is a screen and roll up top at the point. Now, if your defender, this is your defender, if he tries to go over top of the screen, which means fighting through that screen, so if this player is screaming out, fight, 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 that means most likely this player over here, he is going to go and try to fight around this screen, and by fighting around this screen, what it's going to do for you is now he's going to be very tight along your body. Kyle Lowry does this as well when it comes to the offensive side. This is Trae Young, by the way. Now, by fighting through that screen, you have to get super close to that player. If you, as that offensive player, is able to take a shot with a player defensively very close to you, and you know he's going to make contact, you can get that shot off and get that and one, especially if you've got a really good player who can shoot. Yourself, if you can shoot really good, this is something you can do. However, in a lot of cases at the high school level, you may not have a referee who will call that because they may call it out of control, and if they do, then they probably won't call it for you. Not all the referees are the same. You have to keep that in mind. So change of speed, having the ability to then use different screens and different tactics and different crossovers with change of speed, fake passes, this is all going to help you become a better basketball player and play like Trae Young. Also have the ability to change up the game. Maybe do that type of move where you're dribbling through that player's legs and catching it on this other side. Just make sure to do it in the proper situation where there's no other players around on that side of the court so you can get that ball and then attack that rim. I hope that this video has helped you become a better guard. If it has, hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys again in our next video. If you're looking to support this YouTube channel, Basketball Coach Allen, check out the merch below.